Hello and welcome back. And it's the last of my February downsizing, decluttering, just getting things out zone by zone to make it easy and stop the overwhelm. Well, here we are. It's zone 4 because February is kind of short. So we've squeezed everything into 4 zones, and this last one will be a bit of a zoom around because it's the sort of open plan living dining area, and then I have my little TV space off to the side, and it will be something from the bathroom and a quick tidy up of the laundry. Not glamorous, that absolutely not glamorous, but I will tell you I've been on a use it up sort of thing for the last year or so really, and very little has been bought, and I have been using up cleaners and things, though that happens slowly because I do use my own ones, my DIY ones, you know, the ones I make from soaking the peel of oranges or lemons in vinegar for a couple of days, and it gets all those wonderful essential oils out that add to the cleaning ability of the vinegar, and then I just top that up sort of 50-50 with water and sometimes put a little squirt of dish soap in, and that cleans pretty much anything really well, which has meant that my stock of cleaners hasn't gone down the way it should. But I'm focusing on doing that this year, and it'll get done. Part of the nothing new in 2022. So there have been a few things, and there has been one new thing, but I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll talk about that another day. It was something I was thinking of getting, and I finally did. Though it was a mindful purchase, which is, you know, me. I think, you know, if I'm finally going to buy something, it better be mindful. So let's have a quick look. There's not a lot to go from this area at all, and mainly it's been tidying up. So let's get into it, see what we can get rid of. Won't be much, but it's always good to have a look, think about it, know what I'm going to do next. Here we are. The light's awfully bright today. It's a beautiful late summer, I suppose we still are, late summer day. And this is the space. So it's open living. Through here I have books, which I went through before. I've been using my my kitchen table as my sort of office place and where I edit and do things like that, and I've got to set up the latest month in my bullet journal, which I will get to. The buffet is pretty much as it's. I did it after Christmas when I took the nutcrackers down. Hello ponies. And yes, my sheep collection has remained, and I think this is one thing about decluttering is one thing, downsizing is another, and getting rid of things that give you pleasure, and that's something completely different. And I don't believe in it. I think if you've got the space and something amuses you for a while, you know, this can be for a couple of months of the year, and that's enough for me to be happy with it. And it's lovely to see them, and I know where they all came from, and they are a bit of a treat, really, and they bring me pleasure. So this is the sparks joy side of downsizing, that sometimes if you have the space and you can do it, there are no downsizing police. You are allowed to do pretty much what you want. Now, these cupboards I've gone through many times. The only thing that I think I could really get rid of, well, because I haven't been using them, but I'm not going to get rid of them because of that, because, hey, you know, COVID is pretty much over, and my family's coming home with a bit of luck at least for a visit. Now I use these sort of platters constantly, this bowl constantly. I have sitting in it, of course, I have extra vases for when I buy flowers or somebody brings me flowers, and then I have my good, well, you know, the good china that I do still use, and it is lovely to eat off, and to be fair, it's not taking up space that anything else wants. In theory, yes, I can get rid of it. And I may do it yet, but so far not. And on this side I have all the main sort of platters and things that I use for when I have family for dinner or friends. Gosh, that one's actually stuck. How did that get stuck? Oh, click, there we go. That is no longer stuck. Probably some of it could go, but right now I don't think it's necessary. I have placemats. Everything's got a place, and when things have a place and you know where to put them, then that sort of takes away from the need to downsize them. Now, if I moved somewhere where I couldn't have this buffet, that would be different, okay? That would mean I had to reassess. And in the top, I have things that I am using up. Haha, this is actually for the one that just stuck. Now, I swore I would never buy any more of these, and I haven't, but I found them when I was going through another box. So, yes, I in fact have one that I'm using up to the new, but I am using up candles. That's my big thing. Then I have the cutlery that I use all the time. Sometimes the coloured ones, sometimes the plain ones, sometimes mixed up. What am I going to do? Sell it? Get 0 for it and then miss it when it's gone? No way. It's fun, and it's the one I use. What I don't use, and we've talked about before, is the silver, which I have not cleaned. I also do use candles, but I'm using those up as well. And they just stay there for now. Somebody's pointed out that it's it's a good time to sell, but maybe not the best time yet. So this is the candle drawer, and hey, I am making progress. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take those out and give them to a friend because she was asking about them. And I have a whole another unopened box or bag or whatever you want to call it, which means that these little ones that go on a very special candle, a little candelabra I have, they can all go at the back. Okay, that's a bit tidier, and I have actually got rid of at least one thing from it. Now next is my small gym and recipe books, all of which are pretty tidy, except I have, has anybody else got this? You know, the recipe book with the very little child bookmark, and this was made for me. This was by Matty, and Matty now has his own little boy, which is absolutely delightful. But do you do this? Do you, you know, write things down on scraps of paper and get to them, or not? These don't need to be thrown away. They need to be written in here so that they can join the rest of the things. I'm going to put it right here. And if I did 3 or 4 a day, they would be disappeared before long. It would be great. Now, I leave these here because I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely determined not to lose my strength. So I have a pair of the 3s and a pair of the 2 kilos, and they work really well for all sorts of things, for lunges, for doing biceps and triceps and military press, you know, the ones above your head. You know, that's how we stay strong, by using those muscles. So they can go back there and look. Is it ideal? Oh, probably not. Who cares? I don't. Now, these, I think, these are all the supermarket ones that you pick up, full of things that you think, oh, I'm definitely going to cook that. Not. But I'm going to add those to the table so that I'm going to go through, tear anything out that I like and put it into the recipe book, you know, the family one. All the rest are ones that I wander through, that I find favourite treats in, that I enjoy, and you've probably seen them a dozen times over. Okay, what else? These can go. Just let me pile them up in here. These I picked up in a market in France, and they are the original silk bobbins from a weaving factory. They definitely fit the bracket of being antique, and I think they can go. Now here we're into the deep and dark stuff. Yeah, we're into things that I have had, well, for a very long time. Whoops, that one's got stuck. There we are. These are 3 little leather writing slopes, and I was thinking the other day that they just collect dust, but of course now that I look at them, they're quite lovely, and maybe I will keep them. This one needs a tiny, teeny tiny little pin on that side of the lock. So you write on this side, and you know, it's a classic writing slope. You keep your pens and things that you're using in there. This one has a lovely little bone folder that is part of it, and nothing in there, good. And an ink well. No, this one doesn't have a stopper. One of them does. And you keep your writing things in here, and please, I know, I haven't cleaned it for a long time, and it needs to be oiled and cleaned and freshened, and then you'd keep everything here, and your pens and the pen loops. And it's lovely, but what's really lovely is what's written on it. And this says, Alice Dunn, from her loving mother, June 20th, 1905, being her mother's last gift on parting in England, year 1878. Ah, my goodness. How about that? So this has a date written by Alice Dunn from her beloved mother. So she wrote this on it and dated it. So her mother gave it to her in 1878 as she left for New Zealand. Very sad and very beautiful. Please write to me, you know, because she knew she'd probably never see her again. So that one was my first one, and it's very special. This one I'm not sort of emotionally attached to, but it's actually a better one in some ways because it's larger. Hang on, I'll just move all of these over here. Now this one is sort of really set up as a business one. You know, it's got some more of these little places where you kept things in there. Whoops, another bone folder. And yes, they are bone. These are the old ones. This one has its stopper, and it has a place to write memos, just in pencil. It also has a dating system, so that you could look at what date it would be, and it would have probably had something sliding over the top of it. You could put stamps in here, and once again, it has the place for the stationery and storage down underneath there. No secret little passages or places in here, but beautifully made and really rather nice. The third and final one, it's not as pretty as the other two, but it's another perfectly functional writing slope. And so once again, lovely things, but I thought that I might sell them. They all need a good clean, and I think at least the two larger ones can go. They don't really have any emotional, you know, attachment for me. They're things I liked years ago. I still like them, but I think I can let them go. I will probably have to find an antique dealer to deal with them, because these are not things you sell on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, where are we up to? Well, we've been through here before, haven't we? Did this quite recently. Nothing here. That's going to go. Keep my books. Okay, into the bathroom. I'm looking very fluffy because it's very humid, and I haven't got an appointment for my hair till next Saturday. Anyway, it'll have to do. So, what have we got? I have been really good. Look at those. Empty. Did somebody say empty? Empty. This is what I've been doing. Most of these are empty. These are things I keep in the that strange hope that I might actually travel again one day. These are things that you decant what you use into when you travel, when you want small things, even if you're going away for just a weekend. I'm using up perfumes. I've been doing that all year. But then a friend gave me this really nice one, which is an odd, it's a brand that isn't available anymore, and she had some in stock, but it's a beautiful product and it smells fabulous. This side, nail polish and eye care. When I use my contacts, which I haven't been doing since we've been in lockdown, could I get rid of some of these? Probably. Here, just my usual rolled towels, things that I use, you know, my hairdryer and those things, they just live like that. That's super easy. This is for doing manicures, for doing my feet. These are extra towels and things like that I am using up, because if you watched my last one, as I say, when I've used, I put new ones in here. When they get a bit old and stained, I take them out, I move them to the kitchen, put a green dot in the corner which says, hey, these are kitchen ones now. And then I have to refill, and that's my refill from. This is just some soaps. In the pandemic, these I stopped washing with liquid hand soap because it wasn't as good at killing those germs. Just a tray with things here that I use all the time. Wash them, reuse them. I'm nearly out of this, I know. My favourite, just a couple of things I use. I think that's all used up. That could go. I don't think there's much that could go from here. Just a concealer, really very little. Has anybody tried one of these shampoo bars? Because I'm really keen to use that. I've got some extra towels and things in here. Just, you know, things that I use if I'm doing something a bit, you know, like painting or things like that. They live in here. shower cleaner in there, and Dettol, which probably could come out actually and go in to the first aid container. But there you go. Using baskets as drawers makes life very easy, and you know, you just don't run out. I use this to clean my loo because it smells good and it's incredibly cheap. So you can see that there's not a lot of excess in there. What about in here? Various body creams that I'm using up. What am I down to? I've got a new one coming, a new face moisturiser, daytime one that's coming, but at the moment I'm just using a good old Age Perfect L'Oreal, I think, isn't it? Waiting for the other one to arrive. That's Charlotte Tilbury eye cream, lovely. These are a new one, and I've been using this wonderful mask, and it's beautiful, Frank Body. And I haven't used these yet because I'm using these others up. So it's all about use up before you start the new one. So that's a new retinol and a new hyaluronic acid that I haven't tried yet, but I'm looking forward to it because this is beautiful. Up here, without breaking anything, I think I've got some things that can go. This is a Bobbi Brown that's ready to go out. It's really had its day. It's hit pan, and this one's broken, which was one I used a lot. There's a part of me that would love to say, you know, keep going. Maybe I will, but it's very, see, look, that's very glittery. And honestly, there's one thing that I've noticed as I get older is the less glitter thingies on my face, the better. No, that's old. It can go. What about this one? This is beautiful. Who's this by? This is an Estee Lauder one by Violette. And I quite like using that as an eyeliner, but all the rest are a bit gold. I know somebody who will use these because she's young. Yeah, see, they're just two. There's one there that's matte. So 1, 2... No, they're all glittery, and I'm going to give that to my daughter-in-law. Well, she's like my daughter. Look, I have reduced. Right, what's over here? Hand creams, things that have not been opened, and I'm not getting rid of because they're the things I use and they have never been opened. A lot of gift with purchase things, which I do get to. So I was looking at all of these things that I'll show you in a minute from the never opened group, and with great difficulty, I have to do it in the mirror, sorry. This is the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat that I had completely forgotten. See, it's good to go through things. I forget what I've got, don't I? Well, as I said, I'm currently waiting on a delivery of a new moisturiser, which is a Lancome that also has these coming with it, which are the gift with purchase. Here's another one that I could be using right now, and I will put out, okay, because these I should have used rather than buying the L'Oreal one, which is fine, it's not going to hurt anyone, it's a good product. But I had these lovely ones which have never been opened, and I got with my last purchase of the main moisturiser, and I buy them with points because my card is associated with the store. You know, it's one of these things that if I pay things with my card, then I get points that are associated with that store, and so when that store has their gift with purchase for it, this is in case it's Lancome, which is a beautiful brand, I use my points to buy the moisturiser, and I get the gift with purchase, and I get a couple of little extra gifts because they're giving lots of gifts at the moment. Okay, so that's where we are. I have a new not opened mascara. I have another new gift with purchase Clarins mascara. I have that Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat that I've just used, so I suppose I should put that in the used bracket. I have a Lancome moisturiser, another one. Look, you know, guys, I've got to use these up. More moisturiser. This is Clinique Moisture Surge. Okay, all of that. And you see, these are the things that you use up when you go away for the weekend, when you go travelling. Anything that's been opened, I make sure it's out, and the rest all go back into that. Oh, and by the way, this one was out. I decided that was out, and these two have definitely been opened, so they need to be out as well. And I also found an hourglass that is pretty much empty. I know, it doesn't. That's empty, that's empty. That's pretty close to empty. This is not quite empty. These are too glossy. You know, it's that glittery thing. These are so close to being empty. And then I'll move on to these Frank Body ones. Yeah, just Nivea for hands and nails. It's really good. Yeah, there we go. So I haven't bought anything new for so long, and I'm making sure I am using everything up. So this is my small but incredibly practical laundry. Washing machine, no dryer. 2 buckets, one for lighter ones, one for darker ones. I air dry inside most of the time on an extension, one of those extension rods, and metal coat hangers that don't mark. That's the time in Africa. I then have storage in here, some of which can go. This is the whole, yeah, I know, that thing. That can go. Some of those can go. Not the most organised at the moment. So maybe that's somewhere I can find some things to go out. Now, what I'm putting up the top here, they are jars of clean wax, and I think I have 1 tablet left here. I clean the wax myself from, it comes straight from a beekeeper, and I take the honeycomb, and you can imagine the smell's beautiful, and I clean it by, you heat it and skim off the dirt, and then you let it go solid, and then you skim off the dirt again. And normally I have a lot of these little jars full of them, full of my own furniture wax and leather wax and all of those things. I have that one left. There's not much in it, and a little cloth there just for using it. So some of this needs to be turned into, say, 4 or 5 jars of the wax. The IKEA treatment for cutting boards. So it's a mineral oil, a very pure mineral oil, and that's what I add. Whoops, things fall on my head now. That's what I add to my beeswax, just to make it soft and able to be spread, and it smells amazing. And oddly, this is where most of the things have come out. So I've tidied that. That's all to be converted from beeswax to polish and turned into polish in these little jars. These are the only cleaning things I have, with the exception of, and a lot of them are doubles, a couple of refills and other things down there. Cloths, gloves, remember we had a pandemic, we wore gloves for a while, and car cleaning, shoe cleaning, what's that one? Leather cleaning, and a pile of the old cloths that can, I have to do those slippers though, don't I? But in general, I'm quite pleased with that, and this is what came out. It's not a big area, but there were empties or things that I could consolidate. There were things that had, this one had obviously spilt and gone off that box. Had all the things for the polish in it. Everything here can go, and these can go into my car and be used next time I go to clean my car and I use them to wipe down the wheels. Well, that's a good afternoon's clearing, I think. I'm quite pleased. I made the decision about those writing slopes, and 2 of them at least, or at least 1, probably 2 will go. I'll keep the smallest one for now. The silk bobbins can go. I'm happy to let them go now. They suited the other house, which was a classic 1960s mid-century modern with orange cathedral glass, and in the door, and I know because I put it there, and it had plastic in it, which is dreadful. So I replaced it with orange cathedral glass. It was orange to start with, but I put the proper glass in. What else? You know, so yeah, so that was a reason for those. They worked perfectly with that house, and now they don't, and I don't want them or need them or love them enough to keep them. And yeah, and as for cleaning things need to be organised. Sorry, I look like I need a shower now, don't I? It's actually got quite warm and I'm in a turtleneck. It was cool this morning. So I'm going to cool down, get myself a glass of water, pat myself on the back for having gone through the whole house zone by zone in February, and it was worth it. The only things that I haven't gone through are my tools and things in that cupboard in the study, whatever you want to call it. And yep, that's on the list. It will get done. My question for me is, what do I keep, what do I get rid of? Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you'll, subscribe and come along, give me a thumbs up on our little trek. What are we going to do in March? I haven't really decided yet, but I'm thinking of a few things. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope that you are keeping safe and well and happy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!